In modern times, the first awareness in the world outside Nigeria of a unique and distinctive art of Ife came in the early years of the 20th century. A German anthropologist, Leo Frobenius, led an expedition to West Africa and visited Ife. For a few weeks in 1910, Frobenius carried out excavations and unearthed many terracotta and stone heads. But he was also shown a brass head, which he was told was Olokun, the Yoruba god of the sea. He photographed it for his book, The Voice of Africa. It bears a striking resemblance to the head of Ife in the British Museum.
Closer to me is the cast of the head which Leo Frobenius was shown in 1910, which is called the Olokun head. And the second is the original head, which is in the British Museum. As you can see, both heads are done according to the same aesthetic traditions. The treatment of the face, the nose, the lips are made in the same way. The treatment of the ethnic marks are the same also on the face. They indicate the same tradition of producing brass heads.
The sight of the brass Olokun head threw Leo Frobenius into a state of utter confusion. He simply couldn't believe that the people of Ife had ever been capable of making such a sophisticated object.
In 1910, it was generally thought that African sculpture was extremely unrealistic, savage heads, the sort of thing that Picasso was inspired by. That was thought to be the way Africans carved. And to find in Ife a head which rivaled in accomplishment the finest naturalism of the Greek Elgin marbles or whatever, was a huge surprise. And people thought, well, that's not how Africans carved. Africans don't make naturalistic sculpture. Naturalism is the high point of civilization, and they refused to believe that Africans themselves did this.
Frobenius came up with a novel suggestion to explain the existence of the sculptures he discovered in Ife.
Frobenius said, well, it must be that this was a Greek civilization, and even went so far as to say that it was proof that Atlantis existed, and this was the remains of a Greek colony of however many centuries earlier than that.
Frobenius's flight of fancy in thinking that in Ife he had stumbled upon the remains of Atlantis shed little light on the Yoruba tradition of metal casting.